Hey, welcome Tommy and Kathy. Coral Beef in the house. What's happening, everybody? Sorry, guys, little disorganized, but kind of rushing in last minute getting this set up. I think we have some interesting things happening. I'm hoping to have a little studio set up here pretty soon, so maybe things won't be as rushed and haphazardly as they are now. I'm just talking, assuming people can hear me out there. Kathy, I got your messages, but I did not have the opportunity to look at them. Like I said, I was rushing to get everything set up. I did, however, see like 3 of your latest, which are like, whoa. And I've got them tonight, so we're gonna check them out tonight later on. Give everybody a minute to show up. I'm gonna tell you what, when you become rich and famous, you're gonna have to pay Miguel. That guy is. Hey Bill, thanks buddy. You too. Happy to move on with 2024, and there's just a lot of exciting things happening out there. So really, yeah, I did not have the opportunity to check them out, Kathy. I ran in the house and tried to get everything set up and ready to go, and I saw that you messaged, but I didn't have a chance to look at them. So, but that's good because I'm making a new video tomorrow. I'm not going to say maybe or I hope to. I'm absolutely making it a priority to make a new video tomorrow. So December has been a slow month for us, but on YouTube, like in personal lives, it's been crazy. But well, hell, it looks like the gang's all here, so he probably is cold. I mean, actually, I was listening tonight. They were talking about the Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. They were saying that like the inner tunnels of it, stay at like 50 degrees. And it's like if you're a Bigfoot and you're outside in the cold and you're freezing, what better place to go is there than someplace that stays at 50 degrees? Mr. Midwest, look at you. Welcome. And thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you, man. It means a lot. Happy New Year to you too, buddy. I don't know, Bill. They had that one out in like Las Vegas a while ago that was all the talk. I mean, it's just every day something new comes out, So let me go ahead and get a couple pictures going for you guys so we can check out some new stuff. This person, I spoke to them and they wish to remain anonymous, so we will honor their wishes. Obviously, I wish that they would come forward. I wish they felt more comfortable to come forward, is what I'm saying. And that's this group, Kathy's group, Bigfoot World, Bigfoot believers, those guys were all fighting for the same cause, which is to make people feel more comfortable about coming out with their pictures, their videos, um, in sort of a harassment-free environment. You know, we squash trolls and stuff like that. So one day I think people will feel okay about, you know, saying, hey, here's my picture. It's not perfect, but it obviously has some sort of being in the bush looking out at me in it. Bigfoot World Pam, welcome. I was just looking at one of your pictures today. Well, I'm happy to see you, man. Yeah, I saw, I saw you on the Patreon. You had like disappeared and then came back under a different name, and I wasn't really sure why, but I didn't question it. But that explains that. Is it number one Willie or number two Wiley? Tommy boy, look at this off the cuff. I appreciate you, man. I really do. I appreciate your contributions to the channel first of all, and then of course financial support is like whoa. So we really appreciate it. All right, so it's Wiley. So Wiley Midwest. I thought it was only one L, but who knows, you know. Sweetland R. All right. How's it going, bud? Welcome. So, I mean, like, honestly, like, when we look at a picture like this, like, what are we thinking? I mean, there's obviously a face there, right? I mean, it's just a face, like, surrounded in sort of a darkness, which we assume is hair or fur. But, I mean, like, right here, cheekbone, you know? So, I mean, like, to me, this is a home run. Kathy, Bigfoot World, thank you so much for your generosity. And honestly, I'm certain that I use your pictures more than anyone's, and I use showcase, however you want to put it. But your group, you and your group, it's just like the absolute most cutting edge, definitive pictures that we've seen of skunk apes and paranormal activity, like literally in the last decade. So, thank you for everything that you do. You know, funny you mentioned that, Tommy. We were having a whole discussion about it. We've had it before, but that the tree knock phenomenon. You know how people believe that Sasquatch walks around with a limb in his hand to knock on trees is more likely a like a tongue vocal, like a but I mean, they have this ability to project their vocals that we just don't quite understand at this point. And that's been proven with their screams and their howls and things like that. So, is it more likely that a Sasquatch walks around with a big limb, a big, stick to knock on trees, or is it a vocal? Okay, like this is, I mean, it's an artist rendition, but it's obviously out of scale. But still, just imagine how terrifying that would be. Yeah, and how are the shorts going? I know that you're getting into it. Uh, I told you that's people's attention spans are so small that that's really the way to go. Yeah, I saw that one, Sweetland. I still have not made a personal decision on whether that noise was just added on top of the video of those bears. I mean, bears travel together. I've never really seen a group that large, but then again, I'm not a black bear expert, but um, I think that audio was superimposed on top of that video. It's just kind of personal opinion, honestly. I don't know. Wiley, when you think about it, dude, like, how many times have you been out in the forest and saw a stick, or like a large stick, like not quite a log, but like a branch, and you go to like pick it up and it's just old and crappy and crumbly. It's rotten. So are we suggesting the Sasquatch walks around with a club? Has anyone ever reported seeing an armed Sasquatch? I just think it's far more likely that it's a vocal than an actual wood knocking on a tree. I'm sorry, Coral Beef. I'm not an expert. I just, when I hear a question, I can't help but answer it. So I hope that you found at least some of the information useful. I think the Sasquatch, like, yeah, it has like huge physical abilities, but it's kind of like how, the same way a gorilla doesn't use a club as a weapon. It fights the way it knows how to fight, and same thing here is like they probably have a primitive understanding of things, and that could mean that they understand stuff that we don't understand at all. That's not to say that they're ignorant at all, but they have a primitive way of understanding. And yeah, I just don't think that have the finger dexterity or the mental capabilities of building like a bow and arrow or something. Um, so I think they don't have to. I mean, listening to a story tonight, some guy described this just massive, massive creature that just jumped out of the tree line and just grabbed the deer and broke its neck and slung it over its shoulder and walked away. And I think that's pretty much survival. And as far as like territorial fights, I mean, they're fighting each other, if anyone. Like no human has a chance against a Sasquatch like that. Even when if they're armed with a gun, I don't necessarily think you have a chance of walking out of there alive. I mean, maybe you have a chance, but not a good one. Yeah, I could see that, Wiley. I mean, I, I I get it. They do use projectiles. I mean, we had many stories about stones and rocks being thrown and branches and logs. So, I mean, that using a projectile, again, it's kind of just a natural ability. It has to do with the amount of strength that comes from behind it. So, I guess if you want to call that using a weapon, then we could say, yeah, well, they do that. Um, in fact, there was a guy, there's a story a while back, the guy got knocked out. He didn't really know how, but they found a rock sitting beside him. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all a primate has. I mean, they have like that. Even chimps have like super strength, and I mean, I would be terrified if, like, say, a silverback gorilla was miffed at me. I mean, so I can only imagine a 8 to 9, 10 foot tall Sasquatch. I mean, 700 pounds. His thighs are the size of your waist. So yeah, I don't think he has to rely on weaponry. Uh, yeah, Wiley, send it to me. That would be great. I think after slowing that video down and um, doing the breakdown that we did, I don't. I mean, I can't be convinced that it's a Sasquatch. There's just I don't know what necessarily it was. It looks like a guy in a mask, and like I said in the video, but it just doesn't. It doesn't scream Sasquatch to me, and I'm not even sure that the noise that it made wasn't voiced over. So. Sweetland, to answer your question, how old am I? I always was, and I will forever be. I gotta get a picture here. What's going on? I do believe this is one of Kathy Westerman's, and not even the best one that we're gonna see tonight. Not by far. You see this face right here? This whole thing right here. Looks like he has his mouth open. There's something going on here. It's 17. Coral Beef, please stop telling everyone my age. I'm gonna get, thrown off of YouTube for being underage, uh, using my parents' credit card, that sort of thing. $29, you got it. All right. Now, if we're done contemplating my age, there's Bigfoot afoot. This one is fantastic. If anybody talks to Rebecca personally, tell her that I said this is an amazing shot. Bill, are we talking about Kathy Westerman? I don't know that Kathy's right here. Bigfoot World is Kathy. I don't believe she uses a backwards facing camera like Scott did. Kathy, you can tell us what you do. I think she uses a forward. I'm not even sure if it's a shoulder cam. Yeah, so Kathy is Bigfoot World Cryptids, the Paranormal Central Florida, so. Kathy has rarely missed a live show, maybe a couple times. She's usually always here. Yeah, this is a fantastic catch. Is it me, or does this creature have, like, feminine features? Like, to me, it looks kind of female. did I trigger somebody? Coral Beef? All right. Sorry, I just had a huge technological advancement on my end. I won't bore you with it. But. Yeah, she does, and I'll tell you, like I said before, though, everyone in Bigfoot World owes Miguel a huge kudos. You guys are out there doing the work and getting all these great shots, but most of them would slip by. You would never know if it wasn't for Miguel's dedication. So, kudos to that guy. Hello, Alice. Welcome. He really is. I mean, yeah, he's got a hell of an eye for it. I got to be honest with you guys. Not everything that he throws a circle around impresses me, and it's like, wow. But the thing is, if he weren't doing it to the extent that he were doing it, you would miss so much, so I think a lot of the credit goes to him. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate the kind words, man. kind of keep it light and breezy. I enjoy having you guys here. Enjoy talking about this stuff. A lot of the stuff that you see on a Friday night is a preview to the video that's upcoming. So keep that in mind too. If you're fascinated by any of these pictures, we will be doing a deep dive on them at some point. And in fact, that just happens to be tomorrow morning. So. Alice, to answer your question directly, I have never physically seen a Bigfoot. I have heard one though. And my story is available on this channel, obviously. I don't know, it's back probably a year, maybe not quite a year ago. You'll find it. It's called My Bigfoot Story. And I'll let you listen to it there as opposed to boring all these nice people. Oh, another Kathy Westerman, another Bigfoot world right here. This one is sweet. And I promise you that what you're seeing right now does not do it any justice at all. So this one will definitely be in the video tomorrow. Definitely check back. You'll see a clearer version of it. This is just a sweet shot. Which quarter? I mean, I don't even know where to go there. Like, are we talking legs? Are we talking DNA? I don't know. Yeah, you know, Bill, I don't trust Moneymaker. I mean, you know, I don't know. No shade to the guy. I mean, he's out there making money. I think he genuinely has a passion for the subject. I don't know. I don't trust anybody that's that far detached, you know. So, I think at some point it stops being about Bigfoot and it just starts being about money, which, you know. So, as far as Meldrum, I don't know. I don't have anything against the guy. He seems fairly knowledgeable, you know, about things. Yeah, that's true, Coral Beef. I mean, very primitive. You grunt a lot, so yeah, I could see that. Alice, is the fight on land or in water? I think that makes a big deal. That's the difference, yeah. So Meldrum he's an anthropologist, right? I mean, does it reflect in the subject? Yeah. Is he, I mean, he does have the world's largest print collection, that sort of thing. So obviously he's knee deep in the subject. That being said, I had the opportunity to listen to his presentation a while back, and I passed. I don't know why. Maybe I kind of thought it might be boring. I don't know. We were there to see Kathy in Bigfoot World, really. So we left after that, you know. So. Likely species. Bigfoot. I believe Bigfoot is a undiscovered species of primate with camouflaging abilities that we don't quite understand. And that's my personal belief. Yeah, Wiley, there's no fireworks there. I mean, if I was like, I guess if I was in that mode, maybe if I had a beer or something and we sit down and like do it, but it was, it just wasn't the setting for me to sit around and listen to Meldrum drone on about, genes and DNA and things like that in that particular moment. So no shade to him at all, but. Uh, I absolutely cannot get behind the Nephilim discussion. I've done a video on it. If you are curious to go watch that video, I'm pretty proud of it. I enjoyed it, but I absolutely have. There's no connection between Nephilim and Bigfoot, in my personal opinion. But Coral Beef, if there was a Bigfoot inside of you, I think you'd be in a world of pain. Which cryptid is the most powerful? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd have to go with. I have to stick with Sasquatch. I mean, you asked before about Sasquatch and Loch Ness Monster. I mean, Loch Ness Monster is a massive, massive creature. If that exists, then probably that's where your power lies, right there. But um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Bigfoot is Gigantopithecus either. I don't know enough about the gene line to say whether it's a descendant of a Gigantopithecus. I mean, maybe, but certainly not the same creature. Yeah, you know what else it was, Wiley? While Bigfoot World was doing their presentation, we had snuck into seats that we weren't really allowed to be in. So we we were like halfway back from the front row because we wanted to see Kathy and the whole presentation. And so then when Meldrum, well, I think Ron Moorhead maybe took this. No, it was Meldrum next after that, and we had to get the hell out of there because it was filling up quick, and we were about to get busted being in the wrong place. But there was a story. This is directed at Sweetland's comment. There was a story that came out a while ago about this guy who ran into a yowie in the wilds of Australia. I mean, the wilds, you know. And he actually had seen a thylacine while he was there as well. But that's not as important as the yowie sighting. But he said that the tips of the hair were almost like fiber optic. He said they absolutely blended with the environment, just the tips. And this is not the first time I've heard that. Like, I've heard that from other guys say like the tips were the hair was different. And that to me tells me how it blends with the environment so well. And I think that's one of the big differences. Other than that, it's a creature out there surviving, breeding. The stories and the sightings are becoming more and more prevalent, meaning that coming from a time where they were hunted, now the species is growing and becoming larger. Unfortunately, of course, that always means that they will encroach with humans at some point, and humans always win. I mean, if we find a creature that's encroaching on our environment, we cull it. So. I'm not sure what that means, Alice. Exactly, Wiley. Like, we were being elusive. We had to move. I mean, supernatural, is that the word we want to jump to? Are they paranormal? For sure. They're not normal, not to our current norm. But I just always like to think before we start adding superpowers, let's discover the species first. Let's figure out what it is, and I hate jumping to the conclusion that they're Nephilim, or that they use portals to travel, or that they're aliens. Stuff like that. Yeah, you're talking about the guy that dressed up in the suit. I mean, there's nothing to that guy's claim. I'm sorry, this is directed towards Alice. There's nothing to that guy's claim at all. He tried. He put on a suit, and he tried to walk the gate, and he tried everything, and it was a joke. And I'm just, there was nothing to his claim whatsoever. So he he found a bandwagon and he was trying to jump on it, and he missed. Oh, I think, I believe that this is. I think this is Rebecca too. Yes, this is Rebecca. And she has got a shot of a big boy here. I agree with what you're saying, Sweetland. I still don't think that makes them supernatural. Chameleons can do that. Owls can do that. Have you seen the things that octopus can do? I mean, I just don't think that makes them supernatural. Um, Nature can be super, and it can do things that we find mind-boggling, but that doesn't give them, magical powers. Yeah, you're right, Tommy. He was paid to do that, and it was just a publicity stunt, and they thought that they were gonna just kind of tag along with something. Yeah, you know what, Kathy? Again, I respect Miguel's work. I don't care necessarily for the the eye coloring, but this is kind of a better shot than the other one. But that's an amazing creature. Like that's awesome. Where does she research? I know she's out of Florida, but where does she research? Bill, that's not necessarily true. I mean, I do. I'm a little on the left side of things, but I'm more of an aper than a wooer, if that makes sense to you. I definitely believe in paranormal and, like, if you want to call them ghosts and things like that. But I just think that we should always bring logic to the table. Don't ever leave it behind. So when I approach a subject, I'm always approaching from the logical side first. And if I can't explain it with logic, then that's when we get into supernatural and paranormal. But in this case, with the Sasquatch, most of the claims can be explained through logic. Now, some of the claims absolutely cannot be explained, and that's when you get into supernatural. Tommy, no one ever will. No one ever can. It's like you that was what was that? Was that 1966? And it was like they had just released Planet of the Apes, the original one, and you saw the poor quality of the suits in that movie. Compare that to the Patterson-Gimlin film, which had muscle movement under the skin, under the fur, or hair, whatever however you want to call it. Um, it would have required a man to be wearing a muscle suit and a fur suit to duplicate that. And the cost in that time, it would have been just astronomical. I mean, it would have been $30,000. And I mean, do you think that anybody, especially Robert Patterson or Bob Gimlin, had that kind of money? Those guys were dirt poor cowboys. They didn't have that kind of money. There's no way. Yeah, 67. Thank you, Tommy. I thought so. I mean, that's true, Bill. Anything that we can't explain is magical. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying that Bigfoot doesn't have, and again, these are claims, not like what we know about Bigfoot, because we don't really know that much. But a lot of the claims do indicate supernatural abilities. So that's leave that there. But I think Bigfoot is related to humans. Yeah, absolutely. So I believe that the amount of human DNA in the particular bloodline of the creature would determine things like the conical shaped head versus a non-conical shaped head. We've seen both, like not all Bigfoots have a cone shaped head. So that right there tells me that there is at least a different species. And you could surmise that the amount of human DNA in the creature versus the other primate DNA, which whatever that may be, would determine things like that. Yeah, there's no one that could have made a suit like that at that time. I mean, 1967, the capabilities didn't exist. And then you got like Planet of the Apes, where you have this like weird looking like ape heads, and all the creatures in that movie, if you noticed, wore clothing. And they weren't going to do that originally, but they did that because they couldn't afford to make suits that looked real enough. Life? I don't know, Kathy. I would imagine like National Geographic probably did at some point. I don't know if Sasquatch has ever appeared in Life magazine. Who's my favorite Bigfoot channel? Mine. Bigfoot Input. I recommend all you guys check it out. It's awesome. Yeah. I'm joking, Alice. I don't know. I guess who do I watch a lot? You know what? Not necessarily on YouTube, but I follow Vic Cundiff's programs a lot. I like My Bigfoot Sighting. It's one of my favorite series out there. It's on Spotify plus other places. I did recently listen to Mike Dupler's book on the Trail of Sasquatch. That was good. Right now, I'm into another Vic Cundiff series about Bigfoot. So Yeah, stuff like that. As far as like the other Bigfoot channels, I don't know. I used to like Altruist quite a bit. Yeah. Oh, and of course, Bob Gimlin. The the new Bob Gimlin, not Patty Bob Gimlin. Um, his channel, I think, is probably one of the best that I enjoy listening to. I appreciate it, Wiley. You know, half drunk ramblings are the best. That's pretty much what we do here on Friday nights. So, you know, Bill, I've always thought about that. I was like, you know, if someone wanted to like fake this suit and fake a Sasquatch, I'm like, who was it that was like, you know what? I'm not doing it unless we put some tits on it. Like it's ridiculous. That's they're gonna fake a female Sasquatch and put breasts on it, like causing themselves so much extra work. It just doesn't make sense, man. Here's another good one by Kathy Westerman, Bigfoot World. Coral Beef would have that suit at home. So thanks for bringing that up, Wiley. So no, I want to say no, it wasn't referencing a video that I did, but I did reference that still shot in a video. So originally, a guy that we know named Rick McKenzie, he found the Sasquatch in the Survivor Man video. He posted about it on a couple different pages, pretty openly shared the information. We did it in a breakdown video a while back, but then somehow or another, obviously, it made its way up to Bob Gimlin. And he did a great video on it, you know, kudos to him. I had particularly avoided showing any footage from Survivor Man because it was copyrighted, but now Les has uploaded all of his stuff to YouTube, so it's more readily available to use in videos. And I thought about doing a video like that again, but I was like, no, I don't know. I don't want to be old hack, you know, I don't want to like do something that someone else did. But that to me was pretty fascinating, and I may end up doing a video about it anyway, but yeah, sure, Bill. I think Kathy's flagship picture of the Florida skunk ape that she got, that creature has a ponytail, for sure. And I don't know why people find that so strange. Like they literally came up side by side with Native Americans, and we don't know who was here first. Was it the Sasquatch or was it the Native Americans? Either way, they came up together. So it's like they definitely understood each other's ways. And braiding hair is such a simple thing for a semi-intelligent creature to do. So. Yeah, we did put it in a video, and it was, yeah, like you say, like in Romania. I don't think it's that strange. It's not, you know, There's no big bodies of water across between there and Russia, and we openly accept that Sasquatch is in Russia and Indonesia. So I don't think that Romania is that far out of scope, considering how wooded of an area that is too. It was me. You're right. I did it. So I do like Thinker Thunker, and I don't care what anyone says about Thinker Thunker. People hate him because he like charges for content and stuff. Creators should be paid for their content, just the same way we pay to watch Netflix or something like that. If we're creating content that's entertaining, they should make money. And Thinker Thunker said for years that he wanted to be Thinker Thunker full time, but he couldn't do it without financial support. So I get where he's coming from, and I do like the guy. He's made some of the most thought-provoking videos, I think, in the Bigfoot community. Whether it was, sort of analyzing Todd Standing, or the log throwing Bigfoot, which is probably the most compelling Bigfoot evidence without actually showing a Bigfoot that I've ever seen. So yeah, definitely, Thinker Thunker is the man. He is the go-to. I would take his word over, Meldrum or Moneymaker or any of these like big guys. He's the guy, I think, that kind of sits at the top of the podium. Although, man, How to Hunt, that guy, Steve, he's got the most subs out of anybody, and I'm not entirely sure how he managed that. But yeah, we get on board with Thinker Thunker for sure. Coral Beef, dollar bills, y'all. Thank you, sir. Wiley, I agree. Like, I think, like, I do enjoy the guy's stuff, but it's like he's getting to the point where he's like combative about what is a Bigfoot and what isn't, and he's like, I don't know. He gets a little excited, but and I appreciate that. I'll take $1 any day. I had a guy. I'll tell you guys. No, of course, no one believes in Santa Claus. That's no. Although, who was it? It was Harley Hoffman, right? The Harley Hoffman footage is pretty impressive. That guy supposedly spent his life looking for Santa Claus because he believed it was true. But I don't know. That made the whole thing tainted for me, a little weird. But so this dude that follows the channel or used to follow the channel, I don't know. When you hide someone from the channel, I'm not really sure how that works. But he always had some slick shit to say. It was all right, but it was borderline. So the last time when I did that video about the Sasquatch that was walking away, the 2 pictures of the big Sasquatch walking away, I did sort of a mock-up of the way Thinker Thunker measures limbs, claiming that the arms are longer than the ratio than the humans. Their arms are longer than ours. And this guy called me out on it. He's like, well, I don't think Thinker Thunker would appreciate you using his technique. And I was like, well, first of all, Thinker Thunker didn't invent measuring. Okay. So yeah, I was like, second of all, if Thinker Thunker has a problem with me using this technique, I would love to hear it from him. I don't know that you know what Thinker Thunker wants and needs in life. But anyway, I blocked it from the channel. I didn't appreciate his input, but what is that group though? Who does he speak to? I mean, first of all, his videos are like an hour and a half long. Bro, I can't do it. Like I don't have that kind of free time to sit around and listen to him rant about an hour and a half. And then it's like he'll always be like, we have this amazing picture that no one's ever seen before, but you don't ever see it. Because he gets to the end of the video and he's like, well, they didn't give me permission to show the picture, but I saw it. It's great. You know, he's just like, fuck you, bro. Like, what kind of attitude is this? Like, we can't see what the hell it is you're seeing, but I don't know. I don't want to throw shade on the guy. I really don't, because, I mean, he's doing his thing. But I just don't quite understand how he's that successful. Alice, we do this every other Friday. So I announce it the day of usually. I can't tell you how to keep track of that. It's just literally every 2 weeks. It's twice a month, so it's not. I don't know how that falls on the calendar, but I mean, we always do it around 10 o'clock at night. It used to be 8:30, but that got changed. So we have gotten back onto a pattern, which I appreciate. Like, it was really random for a while when I was going to show up or not, but now I think we've got it down to we can do this every other Friday at 10, you know, so that's what we'll keep doing. All I can tell you is, you know, subscribe to the channel and turn on your YouTube notifications. And YouTube is supposed to announce when we go live, but I've heard from a lot of people that YouTube drops the ball on that. Yeah, so he's very much into the government conspiracy side of things, which, look, I don't deny that's a fact, you know, that's a thing, but I don't want to press that issue to sell videos if that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I think the government knows about Sasquatch. I question the reason. I question why national parks are national parks. So there's a lot of things going on, and like the whole Mount St. Helens eruption thing, where the helicopters came in and took the Sasquatch corpses away. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen that we don't know about. But he always just sort of leans on that conspiracy. And I think that's probably where he gets a lot of his core audience from. Government. Well, that's good to hear. People got the notification. Tommy got the notification. That's good. I'm glad. See, Wiley, I'm not sure who he pissed off, but he got locked out of his Gmail account, so he gets no notifications. But I hear a lot of people, man, like after this, like look at the comments on this video after it's closed, like later on tonight or tomorrow. There'll be 3 or 4 people going, "Oh man, I didn't know you were live. I didn't know I missed it," and this and that. I'm like, I don't know how to fix that for you. All I can tell you is that we are every other Friday at 10 p.m. and if you can somehow remember that. I don't know, Wiley. I figured you probably made a comment at some point, or some, you know, the government has seized your email account. You know, they want to talk to you about all this talk about Bigfoot and, you know, things like that. So, Alice, I've never seen the movie and don't really care to. I don't really. I mean, I do get into Bigfoot culture. Don't get me wrong. I just don't. That doesn't appeal to me. It seems silly and contrived, and I don't watch any of the Bigfoot television shows. Or I do watch some movies, but more like on the serious side. I don't really like comedies like that. You know. So. I'm gonna tell you, Tommy, what they did on Mount St. Helens is they hauled some bodies. You know, that was called Ape Canyon. And when that thing erupted, I mean, I think it killed and or maimed quite a bit of Sasquatch. Look at this guy. Come on now. This is Catherine Norris. She's never joined us in the live, or I shouldn't say never, but she hasn't yet. Um, she has got some crazy shots. Like, I could go through the reel and just, but I don't want to, like, bombard everyone with the same person's stuff. But man, fantastic shot. Every time they call, hey, you know what? No shit. I sometimes wonder if I'll ever get a knock at the door. You know, it's the FIBs. And they want to know what's going on, like why. Like I sometimes wonder that. Yeah, I absolutely believe the Ape Canyon story. just just take the whole thing. Hey, maybe that was the whole idea of evacuating this area. Like we were talking about. It was all spurred by the Men in Black. They're gonna get rid of me one way or the other. Wiley, I'd be up to hearing it. I mean, I love a good tinfoil hat story. Yeah, the Ape Canyon story was that's 100% legit. Nice. Hello, Christian. Wow, all the way from Chile. Welcome. What did you buy? You must have bought human remains somehow, like a skull or something. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they know before we do. Just like, did you hear? You can go ahead with your story, but did you hear that the remember the big tsunami in India? Like it must have been like 8 years ago now. Um, when the smoke cleared, they only found human bodies. They didn't find any animal remains, which means that every animal knew that shit was going down and they just booked it out of there. Didn't bother telling anybody, like, hey, you should get the hell out of here. They just left. So, yeah, I absolutely think that creatures know stuff before we do. Oh, I gotcha. Automatic rifles, huh? Yeah. Why do I believe it? It's pretty simple. I mean, we have piles of evidence of this creature. Piles. Do you believe that Siberian tigers exist? Well, no one questions it, right? But do you know that there's only six? Well, at least at the time I studied it, there was six pictures, six legitimate pictures of Siberian tigers. Six. But everyone accepts them as scientific fact. No one really questions whether they exist. With Sasquatch, there are hundreds, hundreds and thousands of pictures, tens of thousands of footprints, hundreds of video footage, but still, it's a joke. It's not accepted widely. So that baffles me. That's a good idea, Kathy. Take some pictures and post them out in the woods. See what happens. All right, Coral Beef. Have a good night, dude. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, Christian, I wouldn't entirely disagree with you. I mean, I don't think every single type of Sasquatch in the world is a man eater, is a violent creature like that. But I do believe that there are certain sects that, yes, mimic creatures and humans, and they do lure humans to their death. I mean, I do believe that. I believe that a lot of the missing 411 stuff is associated with Sasquatch, but there are people that will adamantly argue that no Sasquatch will ever eat a human being. They don't know that. You can't prove that. You can think that. You can think everything is roses, but it's kind of the difference between dealing with, like, if you deal with a Florida black bear, they're so mild and timid, like they're not intimidating. But if you deal with a Kodiak bear, or like a brown bear, even a black bear like that's just miffed at you. I mean, it can turn dangerous. They are not above eating you. Some of them, So I just think that every creature should be treated as an individual and understand that they're not all the same. I think you have to assume that it's a possibility. I mean, why not? Who says there isn't some rogue cells of Sasquatch out there that have discovered there's a really easy food source that goes right to a national park where they are, and sort of just offers itself up as a food source? Because, I mean, let's be honest, as highly as we regard ourselves, we are nothing but a walking bag of meat. We are protein. So, if you get the right kind of lion that has decided that we're on the menu, or certain bears have been recorded attempting to, or eating humans, there's no reason to think that a Sasquatch, or certain Sasquatches, wouldn't consider us to be a food source. Tommy boy, are you talking about Portlock, Alaska, Chatham? I think it's like Portlock Bay or something like that. No, sweet land, that's not for me. I'm not going to project love and hope everything comes out okay. I personally am not going to be there. I'm a reporter. I do some boots on the ground, but it's mainly here in Florida, and I know how to deal with the creatures that are here in Florida. I'm not traipsing out into the wild Sierras or the wilds of Australia and just hope everything comes out okay. I know better than that. Yeah, of course. The Yeti and the Bigfoot are the same. Yeti, Sasquatch, Bigfoot are they're interchangeable words. You know, they call the Yeti, you know, from Russia. Sasquatch is from northern Canada. Bigfoot is an American term. These are all the same creature. At the very least, they are the same species of, you know, that sort of thing. So they're very close in relation. I think you'll find more distance when you get into the skunk apes of, you know, of the South, you know, Southern America or the Southern United States rather. But all in all, they are same creature. Yeah, you'll find names like, you know, wood boogers or, you know, things like that, but the Sasquatch name actually came from Canada. I can't remember the name of I'm gonna say Native American, the Native Canadian group, but they were Native uh, Canadian. I'm not sure how they refer to themselves, frankly, but anyway, they coined the name Sasquatch, and of course, you know, Bigfoot is the brazen American name. You know, that's kind of how we are. So I don't see why they couldn't interbreed. I mean, I'm not sure that they would have the opportunity if they, you know, I don't know if they migrate that far. Bigfoot in a national park near you. I mean, different, yeah, but honestly, dude, I don't know if it's a matter of evolution or adaptation. Like, you know, when you're a Sierra Nevada Bigfoot and you have to climb mountains at these high altitudes, you know, you develop this like core muscle group to do that. Whereas if you're a skunk ape and you're like wading through swamps and mangroves and eating turtles and things like that, you know, you don't need that muscle development. You just become sort of a, I don't even know, like a skinnier, low to the ground type of creature. But so I think we have to like ask ourselves, like, are we talking about the difference between evolution and adaptation? And I think adaptation accounts for a lot. I don't know that we're long enough into the process to be talking about evolution, where snakes have evolved to discard legs and things like that. I think that we're just dealing with different creatures in the state of adaptation. That being said, I'm gonna hang around till midnight, but I am surrounded by no beer, so I will be back momentarily. I don't know, Alice. I hope Bigfoot's never discovered. I hope that the mystery always remains. I hope that researchers always keep researching and that the whole Bigfoot phenomenon remains. I mean, at least in my lifetime, I don't want to see a Bigfoot caught and put in a zoo in San Diego. I don't want to see a body, on a slab on the 6 o'clock news. So oh, there you go. Thank you, Tommy. That's good information to have. I was not aware of. This is another one by Catherine Norris. Very impressive. Hey, Kathy, are you listening? You want to go old school? we could just watch the Christmas tree for the next couple hours. The hell does that mean? Tomorrow's Christmas Eve? Oh, you know what, Tommy? I just thought about it. You're feeling better. Last time we talked to you, dude, you were not doing good. You were sick. I don't understand what you're talking about at all, Wiley. I mean, I got to just go with it. But I am lost. Like, are you not on a Gregorian calendar? Like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? You don't have to explain it if you don't want to, but I don't know what you're getting at. I would be the best friend a Bigfoot ever had. Yeah, but he's saying Orthodox. I mean, he's not Jewish, right? I mean, Jewish people don't celebrate Christmas at all. to my knowledge, which is limited, admittedly. I offend people all the time. It is what it is. Okay, there you go. That's news to me, buddy. Never heard of such a thing. I wish Christmas Day was on the 7th. It would take so much pressure off of the 25th. And the 25th is my birthday, so it's like added pressure, you know? I don't think of Bigfoot in terms of intelligence. I think that they understand things that we could never understand, and that we understand things that they could never understand. So, yeah, they're intelligent creatures, but they live a very primitive lifestyle. When's your birthday, Kathy? I want to know. Does that make you an Aquarius? Is that how you go, Wiley? You got to figure it out. You can't let the woman have a surprise. What the was that? The Columbia? Oh. I would not have taken you for an Aquarius. All right, 28th. Well, I'm not gonna wish you a happy birthday now. It's too early. I don't know about defending the most. Oh, well, actually, I'm sorry. I do. I don't know about video, but I do find myself defending the owl picture the most because I guess that's more of an offense than a defense. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But I personally think that the most definitive video is Thinker Thunker's Canadian log throwing Sasquatch video. It offers everything that you want except for a money shot of the creature. So I would defend that one to the death. I appreciate that, Wiley, because I swear I think there's about 10 people that agree with me, and the world just hates me for pointing that out. I mean, they don't believe it. They're like, no, you're wrong. You're an idiot. You know, it's every day. If you want a YouTube channel, just get used to being called an idiot on a daily basis. It's obvious once you see it, you know. But I get that they like some asshole on a TV show was like, no, this is it's a Bigfoot, and there's like a side by side of some guy crawling on the ground, like that freaking matters. It's that the owl is so close to the camera that it looks massive. But I mean, you can see its feathers. You can see the creature that it's swooping down on. You know what? I'm done. I'm done with that argument. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. There is absolutely no reason to defend the Patterson-Gimlin film. If there's people out there that still think it's fake, cut them loose. Let them go. Don't defend it. Just let them believe whatever they want to believe. Because you're never going to convince them of anything different. So it doesn't matter what you say. Alright, I'm gonna get off of the research photos. I'm gonna get on to something weird here. Let's find something fun to look at. I think I already talked. Oh, I can't turn this one down though. This is one of Kathy's. This is one of Bigfoot World. The Flatwoods Monster was an owl? Is that what you're saying? I've never heard this theory. They have a whole friggin' museum like designated to the Flatwoods Monster in West Virginia. I remember you telling me that story, Kathy. There wasn't like a... Was there a photo or video associated, or was it just a story? I can't remember. Did you guys see the picture of like the little alien creatures? There was like maybe 3 or 4 of them, and like they're baby owls, but they look like little aliens. Oh, okay. I got you, Wiley. Yeah, no, I didn't think that was like possibly an owl. It's large. It's a large creature. Although that being said, I have no clue what the hell it might be. I haven't done a terrible amount of study on the subject, but I was there in Sutton, West Virginia, and we went to the Bigfoot Museum, and like maybe like 5 steps away, there is a Flatwoods Monster Museum, which just happened to not be open the day that I was there, so I didn't get to go. another one of Kathy's. You know, honestly, Kathy, you have a lot of great pictures, and I really respect like the very first one that you came out with. I think that's like it's an incredible picture, but I think this might be one of my personal favorites. I'm not entirely sure why, but I think this is, yeah, it's just, you know, weird personal favorite. No particular reason. Your backyard buddy. Hang on, you've said that twice now. I'm gonna go look. If you guys saw the amount of devices that I'm juggling right now, I'm gonna go look. You're suggesting that's the same one? I mean, I don't know about that, but there's definitely something. Man, I gotta say, holy shit. Look at the face on that guy right there. I can't get it to zoom properly. It's not gonna do it, but there it is. Look at that sweet shot. I mean, I don't think that's the same creature at all, if I'm honest with you. I think it's something totally different. Because of course, this is the original creature, the OG of the whole thing. I still claim that this creature has a ponytail, and I'll fight anybody that says different. Excellent. Excellent stuff, Kathy. Thank you. You know, I actually did a whole video one time on Bigfoot World, just submissions to Bigfoot World. And I think I told Kathy since then I could do a whole other video of just their submissions. Yeah, that's true. You have a great group. Scott Loomis. Welcome, dude. It's funny. I was just listening to a whole thing about infrasound today, and they were saying that the only creature that they know of that uses infrasound are tigers. So when you hear that like that like low tiger growl, it it sparks the flight in us, and it's widely believed that other creatures, cryptids, use infrasound, and it can make you feel a certain kind of way. It can make you feel sad. It can make you feel depressed. It can make you feel flight. It can, like it can change you. It can really affect you. I personally have not ever experienced that. I've only ever heard of it. Scott, not to push, but I do hope to do another video tomorrow, like maybe in the morning. And you said you had some shots that you wanted me to look at, so I'm always open, but please. Kathy, did you feel like sickness, or did you just feel like, I mean, I've heard people describe like literally like melancholy, like sadness, like despair, like weird stuff that you wouldn't expect. Sure, Scott, no pressure. I appreciate it. I have not been able to, like, during this like weird holiday season, it's like, you know, priorities, bro. So I have not been able to make like a good video in a while, and I really hope to dig in tomorrow, dig my heels in, and do a good, you know, video tomorrow at some point. Wiley, there's got to be something in the back of our brains that like they recognize those noises. They recognize that, and we call it infrasound, but it's like we recognize those on a very instinctual level, and it's like we're ready to run, we're ready to cry, we're ready because we know that we're about to get eaten, you know. strange things happen to you out in the woods. It's like you say, there's things you can't quite explain. Like we were out one time walking through some really tall pines, and I don't know what it was, man. Like I was hydrated, I was feeling fine, and then I walked into this certain area, and something about the way the trees were swaying and the lack of noise around us, and it felt like a different dimension. It was crazy, and you wouldn't even consider what I'm saying unless you've been there. It's like you kind of just blinked your eyes a few times, and the next thing you know, like you're like, man, am I still where I was? Am I still on Earth? Like, am I still, it's really weird. Like you just kind of lose grasp of reality. Scott, is this the same like power lines area that you were researching? I know a while back we did a video which I think just recently reached about 1,000 views or so. It's getting up there. Um, I was, I found some creatures in it. Well, you had told me about some creatures, and I found some creatures in that video that you sent me, and we did a breakdown of it. And if you guys haven't seen that video, it's very cool. It actually shows some facial features that I personally can't explain. Like I've seen numerous Sasquatch. Like I literally have seen just hundreds of Bigfoot, if not thousands. And this was not a Bigfoot. Um, Scott would probably tell you that it's a dog man, or it's a ghost dog, that sort of thing. Some type of canine creature. Um, I am not inclined to disagree. It was very interesting footage. If you guys haven't seen that, like I said, it was probably about a month ago. It's on the channel there. It's not very not very long ago, but good video, good content. I think we're back, guys. I didn't realize we were having issues, frankly. So Wiley, did you ever like see any like eye shine or have any smells or any indication other than instinct? You said that's next Saturday, Kathy? What time? I probably can't make it, frankly. Saturdays are not good, but I would like to anyway. It's really cool that you guys are doing these library tours. That's awesome. I'm happy for you guys. Spreading the word. Alright, let's see if we can find something else interesting here. This is the only picture that I, for whatever reason, didn't mark, although I'll end up going back and marking it once I figure out who it belongs to. That's your problem, Wiley. You just give up on the cigarettes. Stop smoking. Everything else will fall in line. You'll be okay after that. Well, Kathy's out there all the time, so yeah, she's definitely more boots on the ground than I am. Good job, buddy. Well, Tommy, Kathy's been bugging me to get out there with them and to do certain things. But if I were out there with them, who would be here reporting what they're doing out there? So, we all have our roles in life. I consider mine more of a cheerleading role, Or journalism. You could call it journalism. Yeah, right. They're good excuses, though. I think. You know, I think they're good. They work. Exactly. Like, we push your evidence out into the world and make it well known as we possibly can. So everyone has their role. Mine is of the storyteller. How would you react if you saw one face to face? I really don't know how I would react if I saw one face to face. I've had a couple close encounters, but never actually physically seen one. So it's a lot of adrenaline. It's a lot of, you know, this is the moment. Because I'm not that guy that's like, oh, this is a mythical creature that just showed up and now I have to process, what it is and where. No, no, I understand all that. So for me, it's a matter of seeing it for the first time and like gathering how it reacts to my presence and that sort of thing. So it would just be, it would be a lot of sort of educated confusion. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you understanding my stance on the whole thing. Mm. And then, of course, Wiley, you have to ask yourself, what was it that you were feeling? You know? Because none of that directly relates to a Sasquatch, you know? What was it you were feeling? We don't know. Um, I think the conversation started off with, infrasound. So yeah, maybe you were being escorted out of the woods. Maybe you were being stalked by some rogue, type of creature, Sasquatch, creature. There are good Sasquatch and there are rogue Sasquatch, so it's hard to tell exactly what happened to you. I think whatever encounter you have, it's probably going to be brief. Whether it's going to be intense or not, I don't know. But it's going to be brief. Usually, they don't last long, more than a couple minutes, some even seconds. There was one story that I listened to a while back though about a young boy. He was an old guy now, so it was probably back, in the early 1900s, like say 1920s, 30s, whatever. And he was picking not blueberries, but like some other kind of berry. I think it wasn't blackberries either. He was picking some sort of berry. Anyway, there was basically a Sasquatch, like a little Bigfoot, like a baby or a teenage Bigfoot, and they were picking berries from the same tree, and the Sasquatch like reached through and like touched his hand, and like the little boy was so open to it, as far as being like an experience of this creature. It's like, and he considered him a friend. They were friends, and they picked from the same blackberry bush. Or not blackberries, like whatever berries it was. So it was a very cool story. It was kind of touching, to see this, like, hear about this little boy like being so open to this hairy creature, you know, just being part of his existence. I thought it was nice. Yeah, Tommy, I think if what you were encountering wasn't friendly, they would have already addressed you. You know, I think the twisted tree stand, I think that was some sort of gentle warning, like don't come here and shoot our deer and take our food source, that sort of thing. So I think that was a warning. But if they wanted to accost you, they would have done it already. It's like if they wanted you gone completely, they would have already told you. So maybe if you're out there in less of a hunting mentality, less of a hunting stance, and more of a accepting, like you say, gifting type of thing, you might get more response. And I would encourage you. Although food's enticing to all creatures, so it's like maybe you want to consider gifting um, things other than food items. All right, Kathy, thanks for joining us. Have a good night. Thank you for all your contributions. Always, Kathy. Have a good night. Hmm. You know, I believe that Sweetland. I believe that there are two sides to this fence. And sometimes you're going to encounter creatures that don't want you there and don't want to be bothered. And other times you'll encounter creatures that are curious about who you are and why you're there and things like that. So I think that's true with anything though. Like imagine like dogs, it's like sometimes you find a dog and they're just the happiest dog that you've ever seen and they're just so excited that you're there. And then you encounter some other dog and maybe they bark at you, they try to like maybe take a snap at you, they bite at you, like they don't want to, they're scared, they don't want to be bothered. So it's like every creature is different, and that's why I say it's like you can't judge a creature on one experience. So you're gonna experience both sides of the fence there. I myself, Wiley, you know, like if you're a family man, you understand when you say like you have to enjoy the holidays, you have to get through it. I had, good. I had a good time, and but it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of pressure, and I'm glad that it's over. And although I enjoy the lights and the ambiance and stuff like that, I will be taking this stuff down soon and getting back to life as normal, which suits me fine. So, you guys enjoy the tree and cousin Eddie. Our channel hails out of Central Florida. Don't you love that, cousin Eddie? I know you can't see it right now because of how far away the tree is, but there's a squirrel in that tree. Yeah, we have a lot of weird activity here. Well, we have a lot of Florida man activity here, but yeah, we do have a ton of skunk ape activity here. And if you feel like going back on the channel to one of our original, we only did booze and Bigfoot, or Bigfoot and booze. We only did it twice because it really wasn't a big hit. But we did one story out of Idaho, and the second story was out of Central Florida, like literally in my backyard. And it's a good story. It talks about a local skunk ape. So if you feel like checking that out. I don't think Randy Quaid was ever normal. Like he's always been a lunatic, and that really made him like suited for certain roles. But the joke is for like the new people on the channel. When I first started doing live, I was just literally sitting around drinking one night, like I had nothing else to do, and I just flipped on the live to our Christmas tree. And if you go back all the way to the beginning of the live, you'll see it was just us looking at a Christmas tree talking about Bigfoot. And that was the original format. And since then, I have done my best to try to introduce some pictures and different visuals into the live chat. But that was the original format. So. I'm sorry to hear that, Wiley. I know we're all dealing with certain things, and you have my sympathy. Loss is hard anytime, especially like when it's during the holidays, so that sucks. But Yeah, sure. Anytime, Tommy boy. You know, we're always open to uh, anything that you have. We'll listen to it. You know. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out our sister channel, Cryptic Input, um, you know, we started uploading quite a few videos there, and we're pretty proud of them. But we haven't been able to upload lately. But still, you know, go check it out and subscribe if you haven't already. It's basically me telling creepy stories about dark crime and dark paranormal, you know. This is the Relaxed Movement. It's a YouTube channel that is, you know, royalty free. It's non-copyright. I found it amazing. Like the other day, like I have a comment. It was like, "What is the music that you're playing on live?" I'm like, out of all the questions that anyone could ask, like I thought that was amusing. I was like, what is the music? So it's called the Relaxed Movement. So I don't think I'll be able to watch the game, but yeah, I mean, we are up against. We have to beat the number one seeded Ravens, which that could go either way because they might sit half of their first string, you know. So it's like we might beat them, but then we need the Bills and the Jaguars to lose. In that, like it all has to happen. We have to win, and the other two teams have to lose. And if that happens, we make the sixth seat in the playoffs, and that would just be like the biggest thing that we've done in a long time. But it's a very Steelers thing to do. It just depends. Like all the cards have to fall in the right place. So I guess we'll just see what happens tomorrow. And if we make it to the playoffs, then no one expected us to, and we could, like, you know, we're dangerous in the playoffs. That's just a fact. So I think they should have put Rudolph in a long time ago. I don't think he had the opportunity, you know. So it should be crazy to see what happens. Hey Wiley, man, you know, like we hope the best for you, dude. I hope you guys enjoy your road trip. let us know where you're going. You know, we'd be curious to know. Yeah, no. The Bills need to lose tomorrow to the Dolphins. But the problem is, and the Dolphins probably will win tomorrow, but the problem is the Jags versus Tennessee. And Tennessee is on like what, like the third string quarterback. I mean, they're not doing good. So it's not ideal. Yeah, don't take no shit from them. Seriously. You know, Wiley, you seem like that kind of guy. And yes, I am a diehard Steelers fan because when I lived in the state in 2003, um, I was surrounded by Eagles fans. Just asshole, dickhead Eagles fans. And Jerome Bettis was a big part of the team back then, and he was the man. So I've started following the Steelers since then, and I haven't stopped. So 20 years. And I've been through losing seasons and winning seasons, and we are not doing so well this season. But yeah, that's my team. So what are you gonna do? At least we're not Cleveland. That's cool, dude. I mean, I hope you guys enjoy yourself in Nashville. I personally couldn't imagine going to a large town like that. You know, and staying. It just doesn't appeal to me. But the cabin, like in the Smokies, man, like I think you'll really enjoy yourself. I really hope that works out for you. We just got back from a cabin in North Georgia, like way north, and man, it was really nice to just reconnect, you know, like charge your batteries and stuff like that. So, you know, you guys will enjoy yourself. I think that'll be great for you. So, I'm a little jealous, frankly, but hope you have a good time. All right, fellas. I had hoped for 12 o'clock, but we are here at 12:28, so we're gonna call it 12:30. All right. I really appreciate everybody showing up, and it's been a great evening. A lot of new faces and old faces, and I really appreciate it. So, and I appreciate all the financial contributions. I appreciate everyone with their I don't really call them super chats. I really don't know what that's. Yeah, I don't know. The super chats, and I really appreciate you guys contributing to the channel. So, like I said, tomorrow I hope to have a new video out. I hope you guys come back and check that out and give us a give us a view. We should have a lot of the pictures that we had tonight on that particular video. So Hope to see you guys then. If I can get to a decent picture here. Yeah, you'll get sick of Nashville real quick and then want to get out of there, so. Good night, Tommy boy. Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for joining us, Wiley. I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate your donations too. We'll be back in not next Friday, but the Friday after next. All right, so we will be back for another live stream. Tommy boy, if we end up squeaking through tomorrow somehow, I'm gonna email you. All right. You guys have a great night. All right. This is J Mac, and I'm out.